What if the strongest thing you could do in an argument wasn't to win, but to walk away? I know it sounds counterintuitive. We're all wired to prove our point, to defend our stance, to fight for what we believe is right. But what if true power, real strength, lies in the quiet, deliberate act of choosing your peace over the chaotic need to be right? Today, we're going to explore the profound liberation you can experience when you let go of the need for constant validation and embrace a completely different kind of strength. It's not about surrender. It's about a strategic, powerful choice for your own well-being. Let's first talk about the illusion of victory. Think about the last time you won an argument. You had the last word, you presented the irrefutable fact, and the other person went silent. It feels good for a second, right? That little rush, that surge of dopamine. But what happens after? More often than not, that satisfaction is fleeting and hollow. Why? Because the desire to prove a point, to absolutely dominate a discussion, usually comes from our ego, not from a genuine desire for connection or mutual understanding. Think about those classic arguments. Maybe it's a heated debate with a family member over politics at the dinner table. You win, but the rest of the evening is thick with unspoken tension. Or maybe it is a disagreement with a partner about whose turn it was to do the dishes. You prove you're right, but you're left sleeping on opposite sides of the bed. In hindsight, that victory feels pretty empty, doesn't it? The win is a sugar high, but the crash leaves a bitter taste. The temporary satisfaction of being right is often just a mask for the deeper emotional cost we are about to pay, and those costs are very real. Let's break down the hidden price of constant conflict. First, there's the physiological toll. When you're in an argument, your body goes into fight or flight mode. Your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure spikes, and your body is flooded with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Living in this state, even for short bursts throughout the day, leads to chronic stress, anxiety, and it literally impairs your judgment. You can't think clearly when you're constantly primed for a fight. Your brain is so focused on winning the battle that it can't see the bigger picture. Then there's the damage to our relationships. Every time you prioritize being right over understanding the other person, you're creating a small crack in the foundation of that relationship. Over time, those cracks widen, trust erodes, emotional intimacy fades. People start to feel like they have to walk on eggshells around you. Afraid of triggering another debate, you might win the argument, but you risk losing the person. You create distance where there should be connection. And finally, consider the sheer mental energy drain. Think of your focus and brain power as a finite resource, like a battery. Every petty dispute, every pointless argument you engage in is like running a useless app in the background, draining that battery. That's precious energy that could be spent on your creative projects, your personal growth, your career, or simply just enjoying your life. Instead, it's being diverted to prove a point that likely won't even matter tomorrow. The cost is immense, and we often don't realize how much we're paying until we're completely exhausted. So if winning is an illusion and the costs are so high, what's the alternative? The answer lies in the power of de-escalation. This isn't about being a doormat. It's about being the smartest person in the room. The first step is to understand your emotional triggers, learn to recognize when an argument is shifting away from a productive discussion of facts and into a battle of egos. Does your voice get louder? Do you feel that tightness in your chest? That's your cue. That's the moment the conversation is no longer about the topic, it's about you and your need to win. Once you recognize this shift, you can use tactics to diffuse the tension. One of the most powerful is active listening. Instead of formulating your next comeback while the other person is talking, actually listen to what they're saying. Try to understand their perspective, even if you don't agree with it. Another tactic is empathetic framing. You can say something like, I can see why you feel that way, or it sounds like this is really frustrating for you. This validates their feelings without you having to agree with their point. It instantly lowers their defenses because they feel heard. You're no longer opponents. You're two people trying to navigate a difficult conversation. And here's the secret. Choosing peace has a strategic advantage. When you de-escalate, you regain control of the situation and, more importantly, of yourself. You can guide the conversation toward a more constructive outcome, or you can make the conscious choice to end it. This calm, controlled approach often leads to better long-term results. People are more willing to cooperate, compromise, and listen to you in the future because they know you're not just trying to score points. You become more influential, not by being the loudest, but by being the wisest. This brings us to the core of it all. True strength is found in inner peace, not external validation. The confidence that comes from knowing you don't need to win every argument to feel secure is unshakable. It's a strength derived from self-awareness and emotional regulation, not from someone else admitting you were right. You become your own source of validation. When you let go of that desperate need to be right, you free up an incredible amount of mental space. Suddenly, your mind is open for creativity, for learning, for joy, for connection. You're no longer trapped in a mental fortress defending your ego. You're out in the open, exploring the world. This practice also cultivates incredible resilience. You start to build an inner fortress that external conflicts can't penetrate. Someone's opinion, their disagreement, their attempt to provoke you, it just doesn't land with the same force. It's like water off a duck's back. You know who you are, you know what you value, and you know that your peace is more precious than any temporary victory in a pointless debate. That is true, untouchable strength. So, how do we get there? How do we build this path to lasting tranquility? It starts with small practical steps. The next time you feel yourself being pulled into an argument, pause, take a deep breath, ask yourself, is this really worth my peace? Will this matter in a day, a week, a year? More often than not, the answer is no. Practice saying things like, let's agree to disagree on this, or I need a moment to think about this, let's talk later, or simply, you've given me something to think about. It's about making a conscious choice, moment by moment, to prioritize your inner calm, and what's amazing is the ripple effect when you bring a peaceful presence to your interactions. It influences those around you. Your calm can de-escalate their stress. Your choice for peace can inspire them to do the same. This isn't just about personal well-being. It's about contributing to more harmonious families, workplaces, and communities. So here is your call to action. I invite you to join this quiet revolution, the revolution of choosing peace in a very, very noisy world. The next time you find yourself in a disagreement, remember the true cost of winning, remember the power of de-escalation, and remember that the strongest, most courageous thing you can do is protect your own peace. Choose to walk away, not in defeat, but in power. Thank you so much for watching. If this message resonated with you, let me know in the comments. And for more content, make sure to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.